Right, we are live.
Hey, everyone.
Hey everyone. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Lisa.
Oh, hey, Mark. Thanks for chiming in. Good to see everyone today. Well, we can't really see you, but we can see your name pop up if you tell us hi in the chat. So you know that. So we know that you can see and hear us, because I can see and hear Brian just fine.
Some days that's not a good thing.
Yes. So welcome anyone who's new. My name is Lisa. I'm part of the team here at PhotoDay. This is Brian Derenski.
And I'm me. So, I'm part of the team here too. So you see me all in the bubble and everywhere else. So
yeah. Oh, Reagan's tuning in. Hey, Reagan. So today, we're talking all about private galleries and capture. So let's just see. Got some people tuning in. Oh, hey, Adrian. I just talked to you. But let's give it a second. And oh, hey, Frank. And just to kind of do some general housekeeping here, today's webinar will go about an hour. Probably it'll take us to get through everything with the Capture app. We're going to show you a live demo of everything. So no slides today. Everything is a live demo, besides a slide prompting me to turn on the demo portion.
Don't forget.
Yes. And then we're just going to talk all about private galleries. So for those of you who are new to PhotoDay, welcome. We'll try to be as entertaining as possible for you guys that return and watch all of our webinars. We know it's because we're so entertaining. So
we're laugh a minute.
Yes, for sure. You can come listen to our bad jokes all day. So, but yeah, well, I think private, PhotoDay has the 3 different gallery types: private, group, and public. And private galleries mainly used to give everybody within a job their own gallery, so they can't see anyone else's photos, right? So That's what we're talking about today. We won't talk about group or public today. And yes, if for some reason you have to step out during this next hour of content, we will send you guys a reprint link at some point tomorrow. That'll happen. So no problem with that. And then in case you want to watch any of our other awesome webinars, you can find them at webinars.photoday.com. And that's where all our awesome webinar replays are. So, but yeah, today is going to be the latest and greatest, all about private galleries and the Capture app. So, oh, hey, Lynn. Good to see you guys chiming in. So just some housekeeping. If we lock up, freeze up, if you have connection issues at any time, just refresh your browser. It should reload everything just fine. Same thing for Brian and I. If we see each other locking up or freezing up, we'll refresh or generate a new room. And then if there's anything, that you guys are asking questions as we're going along, there's just like a 10-second delay from the time we're talking and the time we see our chat pop up. So it's not that we're ignoring you. We just don't see your question right away. So I just like to say that. Am I forgetting any housekeeping stuff, Brian?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, my day started off interesting. So I'm just going to start with this because it'll explain maybe a little scattered today. But it's my kid's first day back at school. And there was a bomb threat in first period. So I was literally running down the street to the school. It's about 3/4 of a mile from my house. So my day started off a little crazy this morning with back to school, but everybody's okay and nothing happened and it's all good. So, but way to start the school year. Man. Oh, it was a little crazy. So, and I got 2 kids in the same school. So that was a little crazier too. And everyone has a phone nowadays. So everyone's texting everybody. So just got a little intense this morning, but yeah, so talking about private galleries and capture, I'm going to jump right in here and go ahead and share my screen.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Let's just jump right in here. You're going to see 2 things on my screen here. One is my phone, which has the Capture app open, and the other one is the dashboard. So the Capture app, it's available for iOS and Android. You guys can download it. It works on any device that will run iOS or Android. Brian, what are some pointers you have when it comes to devices and the Capture app if they're deciding like what type of devices? Can I use more than one device?
The newer the better, really. Really, it's only because of optics and OS compatibility. So you don't want to end up having an OS that's old enough that it doesn't support a new version of the app. But the other thing is, I forgot where I was going with that.
I'm going to fill you in. One thing that matters to me when I use Capture is the camera quality on the device that you're using. So if you use like too old, like if you're like, oh, I'm just going to use like my iPhone 4 that has like a really bad, slow camera. Like that's going to affect the speed of your event, right? So you want to use like a newer device that has a good camera on it.
The thing I love about our Capture app is it doesn't require you to have Wi-Fi or cellular data. So it can be a phone that you just upgraded from, and it's not active, but it's still, it's an iPhone 10, iPhone 11, and it's got great optics. It doesn't have to be an active phone. You can sync your gallery before you leave, and then you can run the Capture app all day long. And, you're in a gym somewhere and there's no access to Wi-Fi and the cell signal sucks. You don't have to worry about live active Wi-Fi. You can go back to your studio and the Capture app will just go ahead and start syncing as soon as it has signal. So,
yeah, we'll talk about that some more and I'll show you guys how that all works too. But for those of you that are just tuning in, that are brand new, that don't know some of the main differences that PhotoDay brings to the table. One is we're using our face find technology within the Capture app as well, instead of barcodes or QR codes. And what that means is that it's like a whole bunch of different possibilities when it comes to managing your data. There's no timestamps, right? So what you're doing is you're, importing or adding a subject to the Capture app, and then you are snapping a picture of their face, and that tells PhotoDay to say, like, any pictures you upload to this gallery, put them in that subject's gallery, because it's going to go find their face. So that means sibling photos, team photos, class photos, group photos, anything like that, all go into that gallery. So there's no need to recapture or rescan another QR code or barcode along the way, or having to jot those numbers down. You're just using the app and saying, hey, I know that person is Lisa Mallis, and I'm going to upload all her photos to the gallery, and they're all going to go to her gallery, and it's continuous. So yeah. So first step, when you want to download the Capture app from the App Store, Lynn, to answer your question, you automatically have your studio panel login, like your username and your email and your password, the one that you log into the studio panel, that is your Capture app login, right? Now, if you want to...
And Lisa froze. If you want to have more users, you can go to your studio admin panel, and you can go to the users. You can invite new users to your account and give them Capture app level access. If you have like a studio manager, you can also offer them more access to your account or not. But anyway, was that what you were going to talk about there, Lisa, before you froze?
Am I freezing? I didn't even see myself freeze.
Yep, sorry, you froze.
Sorry. I still heard you just fine. So
I figured. I just jumped in right over the top of you.
Right. So perfect. So that is like under your settings here. I'll show you guys on my screen. Under my studio, you have this users tab. So if you are using multiple, if you're having multiple capture stations or multiple jobs on the same day, you'll want to go ahead and invite those users. And once you send them an email or whatever email they're logging in on that device, it'll prompt them to download the app and create their password for that email. And every single permission-based user automatically has access to Capture right off the bat. But you can, this is our permission-based user menu, so you can toggle on different permissions that they can use to log into studio.photoday.io as well. So it really depends on how you're using PhotoDay, but that's for Capture. Oh, Lynn's already in the Capture app. She's good now. She's totally good. All right, cool. So let's get started. Let's create a job. So, there's different ways to do this. Like, if you have data, great. If you don't have data, it's okay. Like, it really depends on what you have to start with. Ideally, if you're using this for a school, you're going to want to get all the data up front. It's just going to make your life a lot easier, right?
Yep.
No barriers, right? Instead of having to enter all that data on site, which you can still do, but it's easier to get that data up front. So we'll show you what that looks like. Add a new job. We're going to add a new private job just to show you guys what this looks. So the sample that I'm going to do today is just like an elementary school, and there's multiple poses and group photos, so you can kind of really see and challenge the technology. I'll show you guys here what it looks like, how it all works. But yeah, so I'm going to name this one Winter Park Elementary, and we're going to link that to an elementary school. And then these are the organizations I already have set up, and we'll just say their picture day is tomorrow. And you can estimate the amount of kids being photographed here, and go ahead and create your job. Gene's got a question coming in. Brian, you want to answer questions?
Yeah, I got him. Yes, you can. Same login. I wouldn't recommend that, but you can create another login for her. She can log in just as well. You can give her full admin access, but that's entirely up to you and how you want to run your business. But easy to do. Just add her as a second user, and she can log in under her own. But you can. I wouldn't advise it though. That way, it's separate logins.
Yeah, for sure. So you could only use the Capture app with a private gallery because that's where the data is. This might change. Oops, what just happened? This might change down the road, but right now, it's only a private gallery that you will have access to on the Capture app. So you won't get an access or an opt-in code in a private gallery because each subject will have their own gallery code. So there won't be one main one for the whole gallery. And then this expiration date is optional to expire your gallery here. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys today is like, okay, what do we do next in setting up our job? This will ask us to set up our storefront first. So you can go ahead and do that. You can set it up for advance pay. You can set it up for your price sheets. But we're not really going to get into all of that today during this webinar. We're really just talking about functionality of the Capture app and what to do in all the what to do situations. So that's for a different webinar. But here, I'm going to show you guys what a subject list or spreadsheet might look like that you get from an organization, or what the ideal spreadsheet will look like, right? So if you're just now getting into schools and creating private galleries, you're going to need some basic spreadsheet knowledge, right? Would you say that's a fair assumption,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to need some basics. So if you don't already know Excel or numbers or Google Sheets, Google's going to be your best friend, because whatever you want to do, all you have to do is Google it, and it's going to tell you what to do with your spreadsheet to get what you need to get.
Exactly.
So over here, we can also help you. Some of us are well versed in spreadsheets as well. But I definitely recommend, if you're getting into data collection and you're getting into spreadsheets, then you need to learn a little bit about spreadsheets to make your life a heck of a lot easier.
Yep.
So over here, I have some headers. Now, the only thing that's required when importing data into PhotoDay is both a first name and last name. So that's going to make the unique identifier is the first name and last name. Sheets to your advantage, not spending hours modifying your data on a spreadsheet.
Yep. Data split text is your friend.
Yes, exactly.
And conversely, if they give you everything separated and you need everything in a first name, you need to know how to concatenate. So another power tip. There you go.
Yes, you just like to say that word.
I do. It's fun.
So yeah. So now if you're doing the school here and you have a student ID in your data, the student ID then overrides the first last name as a unique identifier, which means only one subject can have that student ID or it'll overwrite, right? So that becomes the unique identifier. So that is useful, especially in schools when there's like 1,000 students and there's a lot of kids with the same name or similar names.
Yep.
So, yep, for sure. They're telling us we're freezing. Are we still freezing?
I'm not. You're not, at least on my end, but.
Yeah, and Lynn might have to just refresh her screen maybe and reconnect. But yeah, so getting the information prior to picture day is definitely going to be the best way to do it, but it's not a necessity, I would say. All right, so emails. Let's talk about emails because this is how you get everybody their codes, right? There's like a lot of different ways to do this. I think Gabriel in the users group was doing something with QR code generation to get people to opt in on site to their private galleries. That post was really cool. If you guys aren't already in our PhotoDay users group, I highly suggest joining it. There's all kinds of users sharing tips and tricks and best practice in the group all the time.
That was kind of one of those mind blown moments that I was like, dang, I didn't even know that existed. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So over here we have multiple email addresses because with the way PhotoDay works, especially with sending out the email communication, is if you have one subject, right, but they might have divorced or split households, you can have multiple email addresses in here. And when you send out and publish a gallery and all those published flyers go out, one will go to each person. So mom can do her own order, dad can do his own order, person 3 can do their own order, and everyone gets their own orders. So it makes it a lot easier for them that way. And you don't have to have emails on here. You can always print the marketing flyers and deliver them to the school. So if you're like, oh my gosh, what if the school doesn't give me email or the email addresses? You can also generate a marketing flyer for each subject, sorted by the data that you have, pass it out just like the old fashioned way of doing things because they didn't want to give you email addresses. And
a lot more work for the school because you can send them that big PDF file and they can just print it out. There's a data sort thing at the top and they can just sort by name or sort. I think it's by name, isn't it? The data sort. So they can just sort by name alphabetically. Then they have to figure out which classroom they go into. It's a lot more work for the office. So if you want to kind of use that as a way to kind of persuade them to give you that data, that takes the work off their plate by letting you have it. So
yeah, for sure. So I'm going to take that data file that I just showed you guys and I'm going to upload it here. So you guys can see what that looks like with the mapping. So we're going to talk about data mapping next. So let me go to my desktop and I'm going to upload that, where it is, this one. So it's automatically going to map according to headers, but you just want to double check everything. Now, once you map data, especially when you're dealing with student IDs, you're going to want to make sure that the data is clean before you map it. There's like a couple best practices to remember here. You can't upload special characters like backslashes or forward slashes or colons or semicolons or anything like that. So if you get to the screen and you don't see your data, it's because there's something wonky going on in your data and you're going to want to go back to your spreadsheet and get rid of special characters. And you're also going to go out the sample spreadsheet for sure. We also have a support article on that as well. I think there might be a sample there or a visual sample to look at for that data. So I'm going to go ahead and just map this email that did not map here. And then when I press the map button, all of this is going to map and it's going to prompt me to download the Capture app. Now, this is really, really important to do when you already are, like when you're at home and you have, or at your studio and you have internet connection, because like I'm going to pull down and refresh my app right now so you can see on my screen. And I have all the same data that I just loaded into PhotoDay now available on my device. But there's going to be another warning that comes up and it says syncing is not enabled on this gallery. In order to access the gallery offline, it must be enabled. Do you want to enable it? It is very, very important that if you are going somewhere with a low or no signal or possible firewall, that you enable syncing here so you can work offline. You can only work offline on a single device on up to 5 galleries at a time, right? Yep. Which is a lot. It's a lot. I mean, 5 galleries on one device, sync it, and then you can turn the sync off and enable it on your next shoot, right? So you want to make sure you do that. Now, let's just say, because I see people make this mistake all the time, Brian, like I downloaded my list, I go out, and this device, let's just say my phone is an iPad, it has no cellular signal, and I go out. And in the back end, somebody else is appending data and overwriting data in the gallery. And the person with the offline device did not enable it again or resync it before the shoot. You're going to have problems. You're going to have problems.
Sync so right before you shoot.
Yes. Always sync right before you shoot. If you modify anything, sync again. Cannot stress that enough, or you're going to have connection problems. Right? So exactly. It's like, they got to be able to talk to each other to make this work before they work offline. So just wanted to bring that up. So you'll see all this data here. Now, if I wanted to pre-communicate before picture day, just for the advanced pay aspect, set the gallery to advanced pay and communicate, you can do that, like we said, with emails or the marketing communication with the flyers. But obviously, it's going to depend on how much data you have up front to be able to do that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, there's so many different really cool things about Capture I think are important to show you guys. I'm going to take my phone in my hand here. But here's why it's so cool. Because if you're comparing it to like other workflows, and this is where the possibilities come in, like even if I'm offline completely, which I can still add new subjects to this job now. So even if I didn't have everyone on the roster or everyone in the school, and I get a new student that comes up to me that wasn't in my list, I can add them even if I'm offline. And then when I get back and connect my device later, it's going to sync back to the gallery. So that's one really cool thing. You can also edit data in here. So I can't edit it until I take the photo, but you can also edit the data in here if you call for it. And you can also mark students absent if they're not here, so you can curate a list. So yeah, we'll go into that, Donnie. That's a good point. We'll show you guys the email and the marketing feature too. I think we'll have time for that.
That absent list is really helpful when you're
2022 schools. Now, if you've never sold advanced pay before, we have a whole webinar all about selling advanced pay, and one coming up. I think we're doing advanced pay and offer webinar in a week or two.
Yeah, I think in a week.
Yeah, it's coming out next week. So.
Next week? Wow.
So yeah, in a school, so in a school scenario where you're photographing everyone anyway, you can really incentivize advanced pay just to get people to buy in early, even though they don't really have to. So here, I'm just going to do like a small credit, $25 buy-in. And maybe my special is going to be like, if you want to do, a $25 credit early, we'll give you $5 off your order of 25 or more, or whatever the special you want to do is, we can incentivize that. So let's do a sample offer to attach to that. And maybe I'll just give my, what I just made here. So I'm going to do, this is my fall schools offer, AP offer. And then I'm going to make the offer code save big. $5 is really big.
And if you can't come up with a code or you've made as many codes as you think you can come up with, you can just hit the generate code and it'll do it for you. So, and they don't really generally have to do anything with that code. It's usually applied automatically on checkout. So it can be whatever the code needs to be. But
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we got reports that the video stopped, but I think if you guys just refresh, it'll reconnect because Brian and I are seeing.
I can see Lisa and she can see me just fine. So it's got to be, was that Amy?
Yeah.
Anybody else having issues, then we'll talk about it. But
yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and create this offer now. And now I can attach that offer and that advanced pay credit sheet to the job that I created that I'm setting up here so I can get it in advanced pay mode. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and connect. Okay, good. Thanks, Krista. So we're going to create that credit sheet. We attached it here, and then I'm going to create that offer. Fall schools AP offer with $5 off, 25 or more. And then this is going to allow me to, I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to go ahead and set this gallery to advanced pay mode. So when I set it to advanced pay, now I can go ahead and send out the email over here. So I'm going to go ahead and email everybody about picture day and how it's coming up. So I'm going to go set to advanced pay. There's going to be a couple different flyer designs in here you can choose from. Since there's no like subject images to put in the gallery for advanced pay yet, you could design something pretty here and attach like an image to it. Let me just get, I can probably get something down here for you guys. Well, I don't think I have any images. Anyway, I'm not going to attach an image because I don't want to waste time doing that, but you can attach an image here.
And the nice thing about that graphic is it's a full width of the email, and you can put in all kinds of things. You can put in a call to action. You can put in their logo. You can design this in Photoshop and just put in whatever you want. Save it as a JPEG and upload it. It just has to be 1200 pixels by 545. So,
yeah. And if you're planning on printing this, like say if you didn't have emails and you just wanted to print these out, you can have it sorted by the data that's available that you uploaded. So it comes out by grade or by, go ahead and email each person. So everyone in my group, there was really only one person that I had email data for, and you can verify that here. And then you have some available filters here, but this is just advanced pay. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit next. And then I'm going to put my subject line, picture day is coming. Don't use all caps here. You will go to spam.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And like, I mean, we get that every year, right? Everyone's like, oh, my emails are going to spam. And then I go and look at the flyers and there's like misspellings or bad grammar or all capital letters. All those things are going to land you in spam. So make sure you don't do that. We're having connection issues, Brian. Like everyone's messaging me.
Eric, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, we might need to look into different webinar software for next time, because
I think we're going to have to kind of, see something else here. This isn't working for us.
Yeah, for sure. So we're just going to keep going, and we'll finish this one out, and then hopefully by next time we'll ask our marketing team to look into new webinar software. This is the second time. It's driving me crazy.
And we didn't use any new features on this one, so not sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. So we'll just keep going. All right, cool. So that's how you send out the flyers. And then once you send it out, everyone will get an email and they can go into their gallery. So let's just see if I can get over to my email. And here's that email that I just sent out. It's like the little flyer, picture day is coming. So from here, I can go ahead and copy that code. I can go into my browser window, and then I can add that gallery per instructions and continue. And you can kind of see what this looks like in the advanced pay mode.
Phone didn't refresh. If you added a gallery, it didn't show up.
It's like delayed. Let's see. Uh-oh, my screen is delayed here. I'm trying to show it, but it's not working. Mark says, I don't know, Brian. It's like shows it on my phone. Look, my phone screen has it. You can't even see it.
There's a gallery in the phone screen.
Yeah, but you can't see it on my screen. Oh my gosh, like I am just.
They just stop the sharing and then restart the sharing on the phone. That might help.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm gonna do. Let me just turn the screen share off really quick, and then I'm going to see if I can just reshare. What a pain in the butt. Sorry, guys. When you try to get fancy, all these technical difficulties end up happening here.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen.
Yeah, this has to be a webinar jam issue because you and I are both on fiber connections, and I can see you just fine. Haven't had any signal.
I know it is. I think it's the outbound connection, like their streaming connection. It's gotta be. So, all right. Let's see.
Nick says, with marketing flyers, there's any way to set up successive flyers that dwindle down each time folks log in. That way you can capture people that never logged in during the first or second flyer.
Yeah, Nick, that happens automatically in our new campaigns feature. So this is a manual flyer push.
Yeah.
Thanks, Donnie. That means so much, right? I can share the phone screen. But yeah. All right. So here's my phone. Now you can see it. As a customer, I checked my email. I got to the advanced pay. And then I can go ahead and now purchase. It's gonna, at every point, we're gonna ask the user or the customer to subscribe for text notifications. So you don't have to worry about that. When you set it up in advanced pay and you email the flyers out, PhotoDay is doing that work for you and all the communications. When they buy a credit, we are a mobile phone-based account system. So they automatically set up an account in PhotoDay, your customer does, with their mobile number. We send them a verification code. We know it's them, and we link their credit purchase to their mobile number. They can use that credit in any of your galleries for your studio, not any other studios, only your galleries. They can use that credit. So it's definitely linked to the gallery they purchased it in. However, if they have leftover or you started a new gallery for some other reason, they'll be able to use that credit in the other gallery. So, all right, cool. So over here, I'm going to go back over to my Capture app, and let's just say you can always check your insights to see if people are viewing the galleries, right? And if people have bought credits yet, those will be in your job insights. And let's just say it's picture day now, right? So we kind of answered that. I'll unplug my phone. So it's picture day now. So when you're at picture day, like if you have multiple users, you would set up the permission-based account, but and say this is a big list. I know I'm working with a small list here. You can filter by whatever data that you had imported. So if they're coming down to you by grade or by homeroom, teacher name, whatever data, you can filter that list down with the Capture app and only see those students, right? So for my demo here, since I only have like a very short list, I'm not going to make a filter because there's only 12 people. So here's one of, oh, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, filters are great because it makes it easier to find those students' names faster. So especially in a school that has a lot of similar or identical last names, it's easier to find because you're filtering out from, say 1,500 kids, the last name Smith. You're probably going to have at least 5 or 6 of them, but per class, probably not. So it makes it faster to find them.
Yeah, and over here too, when you start scrolling, there's going to be a little Rolodex on the side. You guys see that? So if you're scrolling down a big list, that little Rolodex pops up, or you can just start typing in a name, like, if you're just start typing in their name and it'll bring up just those kids. So yeah, you can use this in all different ways. And that's why all these features exist. But I'm just going to go ahead and take some sample reference photos. And now, a couple important things to remember when taking reference. Let me get my mouse to the other screen. Sorry, you guys saw my crazy mouse on that screen. A couple things when you're taking the reference photos that you'll want to make sure of, and you'll see me doing this on my one screen here. So I'm just going to pretend they're standing in front of me. Now, my reference photos are a little low res and they're blurry, but it's fine. So you just want to make sure there's no other students or subjects or other faces in the reference photo behind them, because it can really mess things up, right?
Yeah, when you're shooting it, make sure you move them over away from the line so that you don't have everybody behind them going, dude, what's up? And all of that stuff that goes on every time somebody points a camera at a bunch of kids. So
yeah, and then here you can see, like on my screen, that Caitlin's photo, I just snapped it here. It had already transferred because we are connected to the Wi-Fi, so it transferred over to the gallery here. So now this is what I was talking about earlier. If I needed to edit information, like if her last name's spelled wrong, if she's not in Mr. Morris's class anymore and she went to Mr. Ross class, you can do that too and save the data here. It'll sync back and update it. So you can verify data, you can add data, you can add a new record completely. That's what's so exciting about Capture, right? Because you're only using that face to cluster all the photos. My phone here, it's not green anymore because it's not detecting a face, but when it sees a face, it lights up green on the Capture app, which is pretty cool. So
tells you if you've got enough face to be recognized.
Yeah, for sure. So, and it's crazy because sometimes the kids are looking down, looking away, especially if you're dealing with like little kids. And we got people that use this for preschools even. Here's a good example. She's looking down. But we're really going to see like how this actually does, if it does a really good job. See, he's pretty blurry. You guys can see that on my screen. Like this one's out of focus. But I love showing. Yeah, I love showing these examples so you can see like, okay, how clean do these reference photos have to be for PhotoDay to actually make the match? And our accuracy is that one's really blurry. So I'm just saying.
I'll tell you the first time I did a large job with the Capture app, I had my daughter running the Capture app, and the main lighting for this practice facility was right down the center, and she had the kids with their back to the light, and there was nothing behind us, and there was no light coming. They were almost completely black. And I would say that it found 98% of every single face, and they were all just as dark. And I only had to go in, I think, match like 3 faces manually, but it was easy because I knew what they were. I knew who they were, and I could see the reference photo, and I knew exactly what how to match them back up again. And we'll talk about that here shortly, I guess, in the matching aspect. But
yeah, and I think even through COVID, so many studios got so creative with how they were using capture. There was like a lot of drive-by picture days to where like the student would pull up and there was like somebody, like I know Zeke was doing this. He was checking them in. The kid was in the back of the car with a mask on. They'd pull their mask down. He'd take the reference photo through the car window. Yep. And then they would pull up to the picture station, put the mask back on, get out, go, pull the mask back down, get their picture taken, get back in the car and go. It was just like, and you didn't have to do it in any specific order either. So if you forget, you just have to make sure that you do the capture photo. Most of the mismatches you have is because there was no reference photo taken. Right. That's kind of how it works. So I'm going to upload a folder of images here. So you guys can see what that looks like when it starts uploading. But when we upload this folder of images that has like all the faces in it, it's going to start clustering to these faces in the gallery. So now that we're back, we're going to, post-process, then you're going to upload. I mean, if you guys are doing green screen first, you can go ahead and use the PhotoDay knockout feature, or you can extract them first and then upload PNGs to the gallery. So we do have that option as well. So, but for this demo, we're just going to show this process.
Yep.
Really simple.
For me, for speed, I end up uploading small JPEGs of my green screen images so that I can get that data matched to their faces, and then I can use the data to build composites. So
yeah.
And then when I upload the composites, I'll know that if I missed one, there's one still green image there. It's like, hey, you forgot to upload that one, or something happened in the upload process. It didn't get selected. So
yeah. I mean, it goes pretty fast. So we're done uploading that group of 50 images. It matched everybody where they needed to go. So you can kind of check and do like a little spot check, just kind of see how good it matched. Like one of the girls, she was really blurry. Remember that reference photo was so blurry, but it still pulled her face. I mean, it's the way it works. I mean, it is crazy sometimes with how well it works.
And it's nuts because it'll tell between twins as well, which is like, crazy to think that it can tell that much. I mean, it has to do with face shape, measurements, and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now there's going to be cases where it doesn't match, and one of the things we see a lot too is where the photographer will run like a lot of filters or soft focus, or have very drastic lighting to where like half of the face is in a shadow. Mm-hmm. You might not get as good matches there, right? You might have to do some manually matching to figure it out. So that might be the reason as well. And Luke's asking, can you use more than one filter at a time? Let's see, I can filter by class and then absent. Yeah, I think you can stack filters.
I think you can stack filters.
Yeah, that was one of our new features for this year. It happened, I think, over the spring. We added stackable filters. So yeah, definitely you can stack and you can filter by 2 things if you wanted to. So, but yeah, so it's always going to depend on that scenario. And the other thing too is realize that the face matching, the facial clustering is learning, right? So the more angles it sees a person, the more variety of photos you have, the higher the confident, it's more confident that is that person in all these different scenarios, right? So it will do even a better job matching when you have multiple images of a person than when you just have one, right? So it gets more confidence, like, oh, I know that person. Oh, I know that person. It's like a human. You see the person over and over again until you recognize them, except for the computer has no short-term memory loss. So, so yeah. So it's even smarter than us. So the more times it sees the person, the more accurate it gets. So go ahead and take the multiple poses, buddy photos, group photos, class photos, because it does an amazing job matching them all together. So, but there are cases, right? So when I go up to the subjects detail menu, I can see that I have some unmatched. I upload 53 photos, but I got 21 faces that are unmatched. Not 21 subjects that are unmatched, 21 faces that are unmatched. So you can kind of go through and spot check, okay, like why didn't these kids get matched, right? So here I can see this person has there's no faces at all that are not matched to anyone. Well, I probably don't have reference photos of these kids. That's probably why they didn't get matched. So, but over here, I can see that this one face, you know, who it was matched to here. So then that matched here. You can see here, okay, here are the faces that it got matched to. So like we get asked this question all the time when people are using it for like dance or something, like what if their face isn't involved, you know, turned sideways or whatever. You can see who was matched before and after to kind of figure out where they need to go in the all photos. That makes it really easy to figure it out as well. Let's see. Oh, we got some questions coming in, Brian.
Yeah, I'm reading Lynette or Lynn's up here. It says, what process would you use for teams, get team roster, varsity JV, and first and last name? Have an assistant use capture app, main photographer takes pictures. Can people be identified before I edit the images? Yes, I can address that later. If you hit me up in the bubble, I can talk to you about that process. It's pretty easy to do with an export. So,
yeah. And then John said, has anyone figured out how to add a tag to a photo based on the Capture app or Face Find? I use Capture app for verification. I have all kids in a league, but then I use a group gallery. So you want to use Capture to identify, but then go ahead and use that data to tag them all. I think that's what he's asking, right?
Yeah.
By name?
Like some kind of metadata or something. I don't think it doesn't do that right now. So
yeah, I mean, I think it would be more economical to just let them search with Face Find and turn off all photos in a group or public gallery. I mean, that's where the magic is, right? Instead of searching by a name. So yeah, I would probably do it that way for sure. So, okay, so I want to show you guys what the match modal looks like. So in this case, we'll just pull, right? So it's like a visual matcher. And I think even, you know, we have this ignore button down here that I want to talk about because Jason Marino posted about this in the users group this morning. But let's just say the parents, we want to go ahead and ignore their faces to get them out of unmatched. And you don't have to clean out your unmatched. They're just not going to preview anywhere in anyone's gallery unless there's a face match, right? You don't have to take this step. It's really like would you consider it like an OCD thing, Brian, to clean it all out?
It is. It really is. I want it all matched up and nice and neat. So
yeah. And I think Jason Marino's post in the users group this morning was talking about how people have faces on their t-shirts and then it was finding them as unmatched.
Yeah, it was like Tupac and Biggie, and you know, apparently everybody's back to wearing 90s shirts. Like last year it was everybody wearing 80s shirts and had like Wham, and you know, the things where the face on the shirt was showing up as a face that needed to be matched, so you had to go in and ignore the face. So yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna get that bar off the bottom of my screen. It says that we're frozen again, Brian.
Yeah. Well,
but I mean, I can. Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna keep going.
We're gonna keep going, so we can repost this later. So
yeah, exactly. So over here under all subjects too, you also have all these other ways to sort, right? So over here you can do subjects with a reference photo, subjects with no reference photo. So I can like pull like, okay, we don't have reference photos for these two people. You know, if I want to look at people that are marked absent, we have all different ways that you can filter through your data and like figure out like who goes with who. So let's just say we know that this girl is Elena Sanchez, and because she's one of the only ones left I haven't matched yet. So this has to be her. And I want to quickly get her clustered into this gallery. I just want to show you guys this shortcut because I think it's really awesome. So I can take my Capture app on my phone and I can pull up the one subject that I know, and I'm pointing it at my other screen here where you guys see. I can just pull up, oh, that's not what I want to do. I can pull up her photo on my screen and just snap a quick screenshot of it with my Capture app. And what that's going to do, it's going to automatically cluster all her photos. It's like the easiest way to do it. So I just wanted to show you guys that hack. And then it's just going to be like, okay, let me just cluster all our photos. So don't like drag. You can drag and drop if you wanted to, but I just find that method like way easier and cooler to kind of clean up your unmatched when you miss something here. So over here, I have still have some unmatched. Obviously, he's a parent. I can go in here and, you know, ignore ignore these faces if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go through and clean the gallery. But I really think it's important to just kind of show you guys. And so here too, like say we have this, I'm not being original here. Unknown, one, and then add them. Oh, I need to put a student ID. Let me just put a student ID placeholder here. And then I can take this person and I can do like cluster them all in the one gallery. And then I can just print out this flyer or send it over to like admin at the school and be like, hey, do you know who this person is? Can you help me out? And then get it right to the right person, right? So you can always do something like that to just kind of move on quickly when you're just cleaning up and managing your gallery. So,
we call that PhotoDay hack.
Yes. Yes. And okay, so if you go out to retake day, right? Here's like something else that's really cool about this. If you go out to retake day and you do new photos, because like you do makeup photos or new photos, you can still just dump them into this gallery and FaceTime will continuously run. You don't have to press a button, you don't have to do anything. You just upload, you just go here and you just add another folder of images and it'll cluster them into the galleries according to the reference photo. So I think that's pretty awesome. So let's talk about our campaigns feature in private galleries. Because now let's say we cleaned our gallery, we're all ready to go to publish. We have to put a price sheet on here, set up our storefront, all that good stuff. But I want to get through that part first. So let's go over to our settings and let's just attach a price sheet here. Now, PhotoDay has bulk shipping, right? So if you're going to do bulk delivery, you can do that where if everyone orders by X date, then your whole job gets like packaged into window envelopes and labeled and sent back to a delivery destination address of your choice. But it only works with Millers. So Millers is the only lab that has bulk shipping options for your schools. But it's okay if they're not your lab and you still need the bulk delivery for contract reasons, bid reasons, whatever. You can head over to your settings under My Studio to labs, add Millers as a lab here, and then you'll be able to go in and create a price sheet for Millers, right? And then you'll have these options, drop, bulk, or drop, to be able to get the bulk job set up. But
the bulk plus drop is a set date, and then after that date, it reverts to drop shipping. So anybody that comes in after that bulk shipping cutoff can still order, and they're just going to be responsible for their own shipping at that point.
Yeah, and I'm just going to attach a bulk price sheet here. I just have it named bulk test, just so I can show you guys what it's going to force you to pick a theme. This is just for safety reasons. If you have memory mates or anything at any time on the price sheet, just needs to be able to know what kind of theme to pull, but I'm just going to put miscellaneous for this because I don't think I have any themable products on here. I'm going to save it. Now, this is where you can set up your bulk shipping. One other thing to note, if you are using bulk shipping with Millers, there's been a big price decrease on all their bulk units. In PhotoDay, it's like at their $1 a unit, 50 cents a half unit pricing, and then it's free overnight shipping. So your whole bulk order gets processed as one big order. And then you can set the deadline here. Obviously, you set the sort order according to your data, and then you choose where you want it delivered to, and it will get processed after that date and shipped to you overnight. It's bulk shipping price, Lynn. The delivery is free. It's free overnight shipping as long as your bulk order is at least $15 worth of prints. If it's not $15 worth of prints, then we will send you an invoice to pay the other $2 or whatever it was short for that. So, and that's for the whole school bulk order, not just one person, right? So hopefully I made that clear. Yeah, for sure.
Jean's got a question, but it was more towards sports. But towards the end of the webinar, could you please elaborate on John's comment about using the Capture app in group galleries? He shoots sports teams, and kids show up very randomly and just want to keep them moving regardless of the order they show up, but still want the gallery to be easily accessible for parents to find their kids.
Yeah, I would say FaceTime. Use the group and public gallery search options for that.
Yeah, in
Capture's
those search
not
options,
for that.
Jean,
yeah.
in the search options under settings, you can go back in and sort by and remove the find all feature of how they sort and just give them tags and face find to use. that's the best way to go with keeping that together.
All right, we'll give them a little bit to order, and then I'm going to select delivery to Winter Park Elementary. I'll just put this address in here. You can put a delivery note that appears to the customer. I'm going to save it. I'm going to put it, oh, notes can't be blank.
I was going to say, you can't do that, Lisa.
Orders to the school. I know PhotoDay does not let me ever mess up.
No, that's the great thing about our system and the way that the engineers have this set up is you can't do it without it being correct, without you having everything right before setting it up. So,
yeah, exactly. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what this looks like. But first, campaigns. So I want to talk about campaigns, right? So on by default, when you publish, is this post picture day series and expiration. These are email campaigns. So if you have email addresses in your data, it's going to send them back. And this follows our auto text campaign. So anyone that opts into the gallery when they're viewing, we're always asking them to subscribe for mobile updates. And I would say like 40 to 50% of people are going to subscribe for text updates after they get the email. That's like the numbers that I see when I look at these galleries. I'm like, holy cow, a lot of people are subscribing for text updates. People want to be notified via text. But there's some people that don't. So the email campaigns kind of coincide with the text campaigns. They are automatic. You don't have control over them, but they are automatic. And they're just like a basic, like, hey, these are the ways to get to your galleries. Go here. Now, if you have, if they make a purchase, they don't get any more campaigns, right? So we know that that email address or that mobile number made a purchase. So we're not going to continue to tell them to go back and buy again. It's already set up for you to where it only goes to the people that have not bought yet. And that's both for your SMS text campaigns and for your email campaigns.
And that's fantastic. And then you don't want to bug you don't want to bug your customers that have already purchased. So
yeah. So you don't, like if you used PhotoDay last season, you no longer have to go in and create marketing flyers and manually push out. You can still do that if you wanted like some like trickle emails in between of the series. However, you don't have to. You can just let the auto campaigns write it out for you and then sit back, go to your next job. Or sit back and relax and go back to your daytime job, like whatever you do. So yeah, you can do either one of those. So yeah, so that's kind of how that works. Let's see. I'm ready to publish because I did set my price sheet up and it's bulk, so I can go ahead and publish that. Now, when I publish, it's going to fire off those campaigns right away to all my opt-ins, all the people that purchased the credit, and everyone I have an email for saying that photos are ready. So you want to make sure you do it during daytime hours where people are like available. You can also do publish later. I already published it. I was going to show you publish later, but I went right over it. But there's a publish later. So if you're a midnight owl and you're doing like editing and you're ready to publish at 2 a.m., just don't do that. Wait until the next morning, schedule it.
Yeah, the publish later feature is great for those of us that burn the midnight oil and work late into the evening and early morning hours. So yeah, don't hit publish after you're getting ready to go to bed at 3 a.m. So use the publish now feature.
So yeah, so here's my example. This is the what I just got here, and here's the code. So I can go to the gallery now, and I'm the parent, and I can enter my code in and go along and see what was in Carly's gallery. So, and this is kind of what it looks like. So I can go in, well, I just refreshed on that bulk delivery at checkout to go in here and check out and see how it says to the school organization processes here. So they can see like it's the free shipping, or if they didn't want to wait for that, then they can choose an expedited option. So that's a bulk or drop price sheet. So your customer has the choice now, right? If they didn't want to wait for the free bulk delivery, if they wanted their pictures in a couple of days, they can get them in a couple of days. And if they buy digitals, they get them instantaneously. So they get them as soon as it's there. So yeah, couple other things, retouching. So we do have retouching. I don't have it enabled on this test price sheet. I guess that was a really bad.
I love the retouching feature.
Yes, make sure when you're doing your price sheets, especially for schools, that you toggle on the option for retouch to be available for the customer. So I just toggled that on, and you could see that it's a live update. So if you forget to do it, like I just did, you can go back and edit your price sheet at any time. And it is live all the time. So yeah, and then I can go retouch my photos, and I can select the photos that I want retouched and then save it. And then it'll apply AI retouching. It's just a basic retouching. It does a very good job. Doesn't smooth their skin, make them look plasticky. It keeps it's just for acne, basically.
Yeah, we're not taking Edward James Olmos and turning him into Rob Lowe.
Yeah, nothing crazy here.
Heidi's got a question. She says, if someone doesn't want to use texting, can we share the link so they can order via their desktop? Yes, there is a link right there in the flyer as well. They get that. All of our galleries are hosted at galleries.photoday.io. If you go there and you haven't had an account, or you haven't had another gallery that you've accessed, it'll take you right to the page where they get to paste their code right into that box. You could even create a link on your own website to that and say, to order photos, click here, and it'll take you right to that, and you can create that link, and it'll take them right to that site so they can paste their gallery code right into that field.
Yeah, for sure. And Gina has a question. Can you share the screen again and show where to load the CS file into the job? Yeah. So where you do that, it has to be, remember, Gene, it has to be a private job for you to load CSV data. But you can load that at any time by going into your subject's data. And then this is where you can add. So you can also append data. Say if you got email addresses after the fact and you didn't get them on picture day, but they gave them to you after. If you have a job and the student ID is the unique identifier, as long as you append the data to the gallery, it won't create all new records. It'll just add the email address to each person gallery. The student ID is the unique identifier. If you're not using student IDs, the first name and last name will become the unique identifier. So that's important. So to note, but yeah, that's how that works.
Will Reedy get bulk shipping?
Yeah, probably not anytime soon with everything going on, but yeah. So it will. Bulk shipping is only, bulk shipping is only with Miller's right now. There's a lot of reasons why it's not the best thing in the world. I mean, I still bulk shipping. I still think it's like that reverse mindset of paper forms, because you still have to do manual stuff. But there are cases where you actually need to do it for, for bid reasons, or, when you're, for certain schools, they don't want drop ship only. They want that free ship option. For bulk. So that's why it does exist, but it's not something that
email address. Yeah, you can go in and manually select names and send that directly out to them specifically by last name.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and create another flyer, and then you can filter by your available filters to go ahead and send email addresses to those new people if you wanted to. But yeah, or people who haven't purchased yet, you would just use the manual marketing feature to send out those emails for when you have those specific use cases. But yeah, so from here, you guys interested in seeing, we do have exports available, because I know we're talking about school. So I want to go in here to exports, because you can exports for service items like ID cards and things like that. Or you can do, let's see. I'm going to give you my export, or you can do your yearbook CD right from here. We don't charge for exports at this time, so everything in here is completely free. So I'm going to show you guys. So you can go ahead and select all the subjects that you want to export with the data. That's going to give you anything for, like I said, for student IDs or anything like that. You can do that in here. You can group them however you want them grouped. I'm just going to group them by student ID. And then you can select your export type. So you can have subject data, PSPA, or just service items. Subject data is just going to dump out a CSV file, and it's going to have all the images that are associated to that subject, plus all the data that you already had there. And then PSPA is the yearbook formatted PSPA. It's a very specific format that yearbook companies use. And then service items are a little bit more adjustable. Those are for ID cards, or the CUM sheets, principal directories, little stickers. Anything like that you need to get to the school for their service items. You can't order them within PhotoDay, but you can get the exports out to order them with another supplier or use them yourself. Becca.
Good.
Becca had a question about how to manually add data. You can do that. We showed that earlier. You can add it right in the Capture app. You can add a new record.
The little blue plus button in the top right corner, hit that, and you can add a subject data right there. Lynn's asking, I need to set up a Miller's price sheet. Can I copy a price sheet over and get the basic and then manually adjust pricing, or do you need to create a new one? That's kind of a double-edged sword, or there's two parts to that. If you're creating and duplicating one that was a bulk or a non-bulk Miller's price sheet, and you want to change it over to a bulk, you can't just copy it. You have to create a new one from scratch because it is a different shipping process. So you'd have to go in and create a new one and then manually add your products and your pricing back in. For everything else, yeah, you can duplicate a price sheet within using the same lab, but you can't duplicate a price sheet with Miller's and then go make a duplicate price sheet with Reedy. You can't just change that because they don't all offer the same products. So
yeah, you're gonna have to start over, Lynn, and add a price sheet and build it from scratch with Miller's. Our integrations with our labs are very sophisticated. When you're making a price sheet, you're choosing from their live product base. So when your customer places the order, it's in their live products. There's no more manually linking of data. That's what makes PhotoDay so accurate with the cropping, with the data that's being ordered. It eliminates so many problems. So that is why you can't just duplicate what one lab has and put it at another lab, because they're completely separate processes and products. So you'll just have to make a new one in that case. When you're doing your exports, just back to this, you can feature photos in the gallery, or you can do like a bulk feature or a bulk export if you want the first captured photo to be their primary image on the export. You can do that. You can customize the file name, so you can change the name. This is brand new, guys. I wanted to make a point to show you this for this season, but you guys have a lot of different subject exports for school admin CDs. So you can change all the file names to their student IDs if you want. So I can select student ID. I can retain or delete the original file name, and then each kid will be renamed. Their export will be renamed with their student ID. That's for specific. And then you can obviously use a different separator. So you can rename your files on export with the service items export and do it that way. You can also use our bulk auto cropper. That is going to, depending on what you're using those files for. And then you can go ahead and set that, start your export, and it'll prep it, and then you can review it and get the final file out. But it does a pretty good job on that, and it's completely free with PhotoDay. So that's the fun part. So it's pretty awesome. All right,
you get a lot for the 10%. I'm telling you, it's not, anybody that tells you, well, it's a commission based, it's really, this is a lot of stuff you're getting here available to you to use before you ever have to have any kind of fee. So, and there's no contracts with us. There's no, annual or monthly. It's just the one fee, and that's it. So, I feel it's an incredible value for the amount of service you get here. So,
and the other thing to note too, regarding price, is that the way we charge our fee, we kind of skipped ahead a little bit, but the way we charge our fee, Brian, is like these, it's pre-tax and pre-shipping. So it's before tax and shipping are added to the total. We do the 10% prior to that. So it's a little bit. Yeah, it's not on the total, but you're still doing a Stripe transaction fee, like a total credit card transaction fee. Also, if a parent has more than one child in the same school in the same job, they can order from one gallery, put it in their cart, go to the next gallery, put their packages in their cart, and then they can do one checkout together, one transaction. So that is possible as well as PhotoDay, as long as they're all in the same job. For parents that have multiple kids in the same school, like I do this year for the first time in a few years. So it makes my life so much easier. For sure. But yeah, so all right, well, what do you guys think? Do you guys have any more questions for us? We went a little over an hour, but hopefully we covered a ton of good stuff today for you. I'm going to turn my screen share off and put my slide presentation back on for anyone new joining in.
Who hasn't seen the end of a webinar slideshow?
Oh yeah, this is where we talk about money.
So I was moving you along. I'm like, it's a little after 1. Let's talk about pricing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we were going over all the fees and everything already, but you get all that included. But yeah, this is where you guys reach us. If you want to set up a one-on-one chat with Brian, myself, Krista, any of our awesome CS team. Yeah, you guys can feel free to reach us out in a little chat bubble in the corner of your screen, or you can just email us at support@photoday.io, and we can set up that one-on-one call or demo with you. You can get all your questions out, or we can walk you through some specific things that are more specific for your upcoming workflow. But that is what we're here for, guys. Do not feel shy about asking us questions at any time. We want you to be successful.
That's what our CS team lives for, is to answer your questions. We've got the best support team on the planet. So, you know, we like to call ourselves the Chick-fil-A, but Chick-fil-A ain't got nothing on us. So anyway, that we've got a great team here, and always willing to help, going way above and beyond most days. So.
Yeah. Dottie, if you need if you need any test prints, reach out to the lab directly. I'm sure they can do test prints for you. We don't do test prints through PhotoDay. I mean, you have to just process them like normal, but you can reach out to any of the lab partners, and I'm sure they will do test prints for you. No problem. But yeah.
Or even better, set up your own demo account and create a price sheet that's just a hair above you know, the cost, because it has to be enough to cover the cost of the products and shipping. You're going to get yourself paid back anyway, but it helps to be able to see what you're getting from the lab, what your customers get, what the packaging looks like, and the whole process. So set yourself up a demo gallery, upload some photos, and order them, and that way you know what your images look like, and what the customer experience really is. So that's probably the best idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen one more time for anyone who needs to know where the bubble is.
The bubble. We're covering the bubble.
Oh, you're right here. And when you're logged in, and I'm gonna move. Oh, Brian, we are in the way.
We are in the way. Get out of the way, Lisa.
I'm moving us
Actually,
over.
I'm
all right. There's the bubble. So,
there it is.
It's right here in the corner of your screen. Is the little chat bubble. You can go and send us a message here and just say, like, I want to schedule my one-on-one call, and we will get it scheduled for you. So that's the little chat bubble, or you can send it through email. So either way works. But yeah, feel free to reach out to us there. So, but yeah, yes, the orange box, the orange bubble. Yeah, that's what it is. Awesome. All right, guys.
All right, cool.
Well, if we don't talk to you, I hope you have a wonderful and prosperous fall season, but I'm sure we'll be talking to most of you.
Sure, we'll be talking to many of you. So yeah.
Yes, bring on the questions. We are here for you guys. So, all right. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks
everyone. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.